Hello my friends, this is AJ of the Mighty Glue Stick channel, and today I'm going to give you a little demo of a complete dice set. Here we have a very loaded chainmail dice bag, and this is also to give you some idea of the capacity of one of these chainmail dice bags. And you have to excuse me, I sort of am in cramped conditions here, but I'll do my best. So, buy a complete dice set. I'm including in this the complete set of dice by BESCON, and also Game Science dice, including the D Total, which I will show you how to use today. So, there's a lot of very strange and crazy dice that are going all over the place in this set, as you will soon see. As you can see, this dice bag fits quite a lot of dice, really big ones too. Don't know, it's like a TARDIS. Okay, so starting off, we'll start off with this one, which is the D100, as you can see. Now, I recommend that instead of rolling this across the table, because it's essentially a ball, you roll it in your hand and then place it, slam your hand down and place it on a number, and it will come up reasonably on top. So that's 50 there. It's hard to see because the camera's at a slight angle. Okay, next up, we'll get that. I'll try and keep some of these on camera, maybe, possibly, I don't know. Next up we have, where are we? This is the, I've marked the numbers in red. This is the D60. And this one is notoriously difficult to read because it sort of sits at a slight angle with one of these sort of triangular sides here just tilted upwards to show you which one it's landed on. So that's not one of my favorite dice to roll or to read. Oops. There we have the D50. Again, these look like, they look fairly similar to each other, so they're sort of differentiated by size, these ones. And the D50 is, we're getting more into stable rolling territory, so this is a much more practical dice. Then we have, which one? The D30. And this is almost, some ways indistinguishable from a D20. When you're looking at the two together, except in this set the D20 is a lot smaller. So the D30, that sort of diamond shaped top to them. Then we have the D24. Again, this one sort of sits at a slight angle. The die is almost flat like on the top there, and it just sort of tilts, and it's actually easier to read than the D60. Now we're getting back into familiar territory with the D20. The platonic solids, as they call them. The Dodecahedron. Good old D20. Can't go wrong with the D20. Then we're switching over to the Game Science dice here. For the D... which one is this one? This is the D15, I believe it is. Is it 15? Yes. A 15-sided die. Looks much like a D10 at first glance, but you'll soon realize that, oh no, sorry, it's a D16. What am I talking about? Even numbers, AJ. D16. And then hot on the heels of that one is the D14. And this also, quite handily, has the days of the week on it as well. So essentially 2 times a D7, so you could halve this and let a D7, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So D14 and a D16. Then we have good old trusty D10s, and these come in the 10s variety to represent your 10s, and the 1s variety to represent 1s. So rolled together, they'll give you a result of, say, 58. Everybody's used D10s. Oof. do this one, I can't see right. Here we go. Next up, the dependable D12. There we go. You can actually use a D12 for a lot of different things, which I'll talk about in later videos. If BESCON comes to the table and actually produces the specialty dice that I sent the designs for. Then we have the D8, 8-sided die. You've seen these before. The 6-sided die, most common dice in the world. This one you probably haven't seen before. This is a 5-sided die. You can see the angles, the edges on these are very sharp because Game Science dice cuts them by hand off the sprue, and then you trim them when you get them to give you an absolute crystal edge. These are very, very, very well balanced dice. The way this rolls is it either rolls flat on the edge, or it rolls up on the side like that, which it does fairly randomly and evenly. I've rolled this out of curiosity many times, and yeah, it does actually work as a 5-sided die. Somewhat bizarrely, it's actually fairly balanced. There's your 5. Then of course, the 4-sided die. This is the one which you read from the top. Some of the old school ones you actually read from the bottom, but this is one which you read from the top, which I kind of prefer. And then, last but not least, this is the rock, paper, scissors, or otherwise known as the D3, a 3-sided die, where you read along this edge here. And it also gives you rock, paper, scissors. Great dice. It appeals to me as a New Zealander because it kind of looks like a football, a rugby ball. There we go. Okay. Now, last but not least, I've had a lot of curiosity about this one, and this is the revolutionary, award-winning D-Total. Now, it looks highly complex, but it's actually not, and I'll explain it to you right now. So, as you can see, there's multiple results arranged around a clock type pattern here, and that's pretty much how you read this thing. So, the top one is the standard D12. Then this one here, these two numbers are binary, so it'll be 1, 0 or 0, 1, etc. Next up, you have a D3 in the form of dots, so it'll either be 1, 2 or 3 dots. Then a D4, then a D5 in Roman numerals, then a D6, then a D7, then a D8, then a D9, a D10 again in Roman numerals, a D11, and in the middle is a D24. This is a 24-sided die after all. And that way, you get all those odd numbers that these other dice can't cover for any dice rolling needs you may possibly have. And when you roll this dice on the table, nobody can tell which of those results you're actually looking at. So you can roll it in front of the characters, in front of the players around the table, and they'll have no idea what you're actually rolling for. Not only that, but you can roll multiple results at the same time. And if you include multiple D-totals in different colors, they'll have absolutely no idea what you're rolling. So the last dice I want to show you couldn't fit in the bag, and this is my glow-in-the-dark D100 that also got some interest as well. It's just exactly what it sounds like. It's a glow-in-the-dark 100-sided dice. These have been around for a long time, decades and decades. They're manufactured in China. The Game Science dice are manufactured in America. They always have been, by the Colonel. And the BESCON dice are manufactured in China by the BESCON company. Yeah, so there you go. My crazy and wacky dice set. I have other interesting dice as well, of course. From DnDWOW, you would have seen me talking about these ones. The mood dice, which change color according to your body temperature. See, they're already changing to a dark blue there. I particularly like the mood dice. These are metal dice, They're a Zinco alloy. They're glittery and shiny. They look extremely magical. They've got a Harry Potter font to them with that sort of lightning bolts pattern. They've got rounded edges so they don't damage anything, and the actual resin itself is rounding the dice as well. So they tend not to scratch anything, and they change color beautifully, like so. Yeah, so I've got a full set of those as well. Alright, that's it from me. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'll catch you later.